Welcome back to Off the Bar Podcast. My name is Rafael Dos Santos, and I'm here with
Kofi Gurua, Chris Will,
George.
no last name, George.
So Carras.
Nah, it's just George.
Yeah, just George. Today's episode is going to be mostly about the good old Conference League final between Feyenoord and Roma. We're going to have our specialist on the subject, Michael Figueroa, not because he's an Arsenal fan. That has nothing to do with it. But like I said, we have our specialist here today to talk about Conference League, Michael Figueroa. We're also going to be talking about Mbappe's transfer, or not transfer, but his contract renewal, unfortunate contract renewal to PSG. And then we're going to be talking about the good old Champions League final, a huge step up from our first topic. But to take it away, none other than the Arsenal enthusiast wearing a Real Madrid jersey for some reason, Michael Figueroa.
So, everyone's favorite third European tournament, the Conference League. Let's talk about that. So we had Roma, led by Jose Mourinho as a manager, obviously arguably one of the best managers of all time. And then we have Feyenoord, one of the best clubs in Holland. They honestly earned their way here. They were more competitive during their group stage matches in Roma. They've actually scored, I think, the most goals in the tournament. So there was a lot of enthusiasm for seeing Feyenoord actually perform. And I was excited to see Feyenoord win the finals. You know, I was kind of like what we talked about in the Europa League, how I like that not a team that's not in the top 5 leagues is in a cup final. I think it's pretty interesting and fun to watch. But Roma took out the win with a very traditional style of Jose Mourinho football, where there's probably one goal and just 90 more minutes of defense right after that. So that was the game. It was literally pretty defensive oriented. Feyenoord had a couple of good opportunities, but Roma's defense was just too hard to beat.
Oh, wait, Michael, time out. Sorry to cut you off. The team that Roma played against, can you say it into the mic and slowly?
Feyenoord. Feyenoord? I don't know how to say it.
I thought he was saying something wood, like Feyenoord.
I said Feyenoord, but I don't know how to say their name. I'm not Dutch. Feyenoord.
I always say Feyenoord.
Feyenoord.
It was an interesting final, definitely one of a kind. The first time that we've had this final, Mourinho completes his own treble of European Cup trophies. It also gets Roma their first European trophy in over 60 years. So good for Roma. The goal was nice. A couple of big saves from Rui Patricio. I do have one question for Michael, if you saw it. The Abraham chance in the second half where he got pulled from behind. If he had gone down, do you think that gets called? Do you think it's a red? What do you think should have happened there?
I think if he went down, it would have 100% been a call, because the referee would have been incented to actually even take a look at it. But the fact that he tried to stay up, that didn't really give him much of a reason to look at it. He's like, it's whatever. But if he would have gone down, that's a clear goal opportunity. That's a red card easily. There's no other way to put it. It was pretty reckless of a chance. Abraham would have scored if he wasn't grabbing him like that. So yeah, I think that's what should have happened. But Abraham tried to stay up and see if he can still catch up to it. And sometimes it's good to throw yourself in football, and that's one of the reasons why. If you find the right, it's diving is a skill in itself. You need to know when to actually know what's enough contact to fall on the floor.
Yeah, and you got to imagine in the heat of the moment, he probably took 2 steps thinking he was going to get to that ball anyway, and then realized it had just gotten too far. And by then it was too late to make some type of decision, because he turned around. But a referee sees you take a couple steps without much of a problem and then start complaining, they're never going to give that, I don't think. So
especially in a cup final, they're not going to give it to you.
So, I mean, besides that, there were a couple good shots. There was the huge save by Patricio that hit the intersection of the post and the bar. That I think was an absolute class save. That could have easily been one of the goals of the tournament, because he blasted that thing. But it kept Feyenoord at 0 and got Roma the win in the end. So
yeah, Patricio was phenomenal. I think he actually got man of the match that game. He was without a doubt the best player on the pitch. I also want to give a shout out to Chris Smallings. He was phenomenal at defense. In general, Roma's defense was really good. It was a clear like model from what Mourinho always does, where he makes sure his defense are very well calculated, very well like pressuring the offense. And if Feyenoord didn't even get any opportunities after that, it was pretty rough to watch sometimes because it was just kind of like a brick wall.
Dude, Ainsley Maitland-Niles had to leave Arsenal, go to Roma to finally play in Europe, actually do something. Did you know he's on the Roma team?
Yeah, he's in the bench, not playing, not subbed in.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, like you guys said, only Mourinho would have a goalie be man of the match in our European Cup final. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm with the same mindset, with the same, like, I agree with what Michael was saying. Like, I think the Conference League provides those teams that usually wouldn't get to play in Europe a chance to do just that. And I think even though it's not, obviously it's never going to be as exciting perhaps as a Champions League final, it definitely like just gives them that opportunity. And I think in some ways it is interesting because you see like how these players would react under that kind of pressure. You sometimes will see like a vast gap in skills because obviously you will have like what, sixth place in the Premier League, maybe seventh place in the Premier League playing Conference League versus like, let's say, fourth place in the Netherlands. Like, obviously that's always going to happen, but it also gives a lot of these players who are in smaller clubs in Europe a chance to like put their name out there. How many times have we seen a player do good in the tournament and then get bought? James Rodriguez, like players like that. Like, obviously those are World Cups, but same thing goes for Conference League final. And yeah, unfortunately it was 1-0. We kind of called it in our predictions, Michael and I, obviously because Mourinho is very defensive and seeing how it was Roma versus Feyenoord. But who knows? In the future, you might get to see some like a more interesting matchup where it might be like a team like Roma versus a sixth place team in the Prem, something like that. Like we could see, I don't know, Newcastle or something playing
Actually,
Conference League
the-
final.
Do the winners of the Conference League, would they get like
They play Europa
with
League.
Roma? Yeah, they're playing Europa League. So I mean,
But,
it
yeah.
would give like you said, like a smaller club a chance to actually play in Europa League as well if they do end up winning it.
Yeah, the thing is, this year Roma is a Europa League.
Yeah,
They're in an Europa League spot already, so
I
not
think
much
what
change
happens
there.
is that like they push. I know they do it in the Premier League. If like a team like Chelsea, for example, like wins and they're like third or fourth, like they're like not in the Champions League spot, they push them into a Champions League spot and they push the person who's in it, like fourth, out of it. Like I think that's what they did in 1 year in the Champions League. Where like the
No
2012
way.
when that happened in 20 when Chelsea won in
Nah.
2012.
I feel like the Premier League just got an extra spot.
Yeah, they just get an extra spot. And
not
I know
sure.
that for a fact because the Bundesliga has a top four that's playing in Champions League next season, and Frankfurt is playing Champions League next season. And they're not top four in the Bundesliga, but they are playing Champions League next season.
Okay.
So that way, Germany would just have 5 teams in Champions League.
Well, I think this is obviously a good thing for like I think the Conference League is a really good thing for like smaller clubs. It's a good opportunity to get their like name recognition out, have like fans of smaller franchises have a chance to have a passion for a tournament like a cup final. Like Roma, like you said, haven't won a European trophy in God knows how long. So seeing them actually in the cup final win a trophy, though it is the Conference League, it's still pretty exciting. You know, you're winning the tournament, you have a piece of silverware, you have something to show for it. And I think what this can do in the summer is possibly help Mourinho get some more pieces. I'm not exactly saying that he's going to get, someone like of any high stature, but I think he gets some. Oh, he 100% needs help in the midfield.
Dybala was linked to Roma.
Yeah, so that could be really good for Roma. They're going to be competing in the Conference League. I mean, in the Europa League next year, so they're going to be fighting for Europa League for sure in Serie A. In Serie A, it looks more and more competitive.
But yeah, speaking of Roma, Roma legend Francesco Totti had something to say about what we're going to talk about next, Mbappe. He said, I am happy, obviously talking about Mbappe's decision to stay at PSG. He said, "I'm happy because I think he made a choice from the heart. He grew up with PSG. It's not easy to refuse a team like Real Madrid. I also refused them 20 years ago to stay at Roma. And even though Kylian Mbappe is younger, I think he made the right decision. The roots are very important, and Kylian Mbappe." What do we think about that?
I think it's completely different. Totti stayed at Roma. Totti's always been is from that. That's like his boyhood club, and he always wanted to like put Roma on that map basically, which is what he did. While PSG doesn't necessarily need Mbappe as a player. Like PSG is such a big brand now, where they were the most expensive, like the richest club in the world. Now it's Newcastle, but they are backed by the Qatari government. They're not exactly like a footballing heritage club where they have all this like talent, they have all this like experience and history. They're pretty like they've had like a good amount of history, but it's nowhere near like other French clubs at this point. So it just seems kind of like PSG is just a brand that signed they signed their most expensive asset again.
All right, going around, just yes, answer yes or no. Whether do you like do you like him staying there? Yes or no, Michael,
I'm biased, but no.
Chris.
I like it. I mean, like,
All right, Chris. I'll see enough from
I
Chris.
like it.
George.
I'm gonna say yes just because I'm a Barcelona fan.
Jesus
And I don't want
Christ.
to. I don't want to see Mbappe torch us every Clasico. So
Scared of competition?
nah, but I mean, in regard like with Mbappe, I like him staying there, but I disagree with Totti that it was like the right choice in terms of like for the public image. Just because it's not the same scenario where Totti just didn't want to go to Madrid and wanted to stay in Roma and build like a legacy there or whatever. Like Mbappe rumored to have going to Madrid for like the past 2 years almost. And he pretty much just like jerked them around and used the hype of him going to Madrid to kind of get a better deal from PSG. So it was shady, but I mean,
Totti had an interesting way of saying the word money. Like this was a money move. Like, let's be completely honest. I mean, how do you pass up the type of deal that they're giving him? I don't know.
If he wants to be the best player ever, like that's what every player dreams of, and like even more so in a player like Mbappe, because like one thing is like Marco Asensio saying, just like that's the first thing that came to my head. Like Marco Asensio saying, like, I want to be the best there's ever been. You're like, yeah, relax. But like Mbappe says that, and like he technically has the chance. Like we're biased because we saw like we are from the era of Cristiano and Messi. So like if you ask me, do I really think Mbappe is going to surpass Cristiano or Messi? No, but he's like a new age Cristiano or Messi. In his head, the only thing that should be in his head is, I want to be the best there's ever been. There's no way that could be in your head. You could think that way and you want to stay at PSG because it just hasn't worked out. Like it hasn't worked out with Neymar. It hasn't worked out with Messi. Like the best player ever has never played at PSG. That's just the truth. Go down the Ballon d'Or list. Yeah, it says like PSG for Messi, but we all know he won that because of what he did at Barcelona. Like that's the only thing that kept going through my mind the entire day. Like, and as soon as I woke up, like, and I saw the news that Mbappe was staying, the best player ever has never played at PSG, has never played in Ligue 1. Like, the best players in the world play in the Premier League and La Liga. It's as simple as that, whether you like it or not. It's just the truth. So I don't
before like prior to last year, I think the closest Ballon d'Or contestant for PSG was like Ronaldinho, like 20 years ago.
And probably Zlatan at some point. I'd imagine Ibrahimovic was in there at some point.
He was never top 3, I don't think.
No, never top 3, never top 3. But he was definitely on some short list.
Yeah. Zlatan, I think like 2016, 2015 was in the World 11. Or even before that, I think it was like 2013. He was in the World 11 for PSG. Other than that, no one. Oh, him and David Luiz.
But I think that's also because those two guys made a name for themselves at clubs long before they moved to PSG. So a little bit of that was like they had momentum going in. And then they kind of continued their success. I mean, the other thing to remember about Mbappe is like by the time his contract expires at PSG in 2025, he's going to be what, 26? So I mean, there's no ruling out him moving to La Liga at that point either.
Yeah, but it's just like one thing is being at Real Madrid, let's say, for like how old is he now? 23? 22?
23, yeah. 23.
Okay. One thing is playing at Real Madrid for 11, 12 years and having the stats to be compared to Ronaldo and Messi. And one thing is stat padding in Ligue 1, never winning the Ballon d'Or, because like the things you'd have to do like to win the Ballon d'Or at PSG, you literally have to win every trophy available to you. Simple as that, because no one's going to give it to you for winning Ligue 1. No one's going to win it to you for winning the domestic cup and the French league. You're going to have to win.
Does it help him a
Champions
little bit being on the French national team in terms of like if they do make good runs at World Cup, stuff like that, Euros, things like that?
Here's why it won't matter, at least until next year. The Ballon d'Or this year has been given out on October 17th, meaning that's a month before the World Cup, meaning barring like an absolute massacre of Real Madrid by Mohamed Salah on Saturday, that trophy has Karim Benzema written all over it. And I think even if Real Madrid loses Champions League final on Saturday,
It's still Benzema.
you'd be hard pressed. Like, because here's what I'm saying. When you look at the stats, like Mohamed Salah is the Premier League leader in the two most important stats, goals and assists. But it's just Benzema, like he has his name on it. Like, even though the stats aren't similar, like I think I know that Benzema is the leading goal scorer in La Liga, and he's the second leading assist behind Dembele by 1 assist. So it's like the same, but I think it does have a lot to do with Saturday, but we'll get into that when we talk about the Champions League final. But basically what I'm trying to say is for this year, at least, like Mbappe's not winning the Ballon d'Or. He's just not. He is a leading goal scorer in Ligue 1 and the leading assister in Ligue 1, but Mohamed Salah is the same thing in the Premier League, and Benzema's damn nearly the same thing in La Liga. Like I said earlier, the best players in the world play in La Liga, they play in the Premier League. It's as simple as that. And he might be able to move like Chris said, like in the near future, like, but you've kind of like what the narrative is right now is that he disrespected Real Madrid.
That's where I was going to go next with you. Is do you think he's burnt that bridge essentially, and there's no way like Real Madrid and the fans, the board, etc. would ever like even look at him again?
The year in Madrid before the Mbappe signing, like I think we played on Saturday our last game, or on Friday our last game, and he announced on Saturday, right, that he was staying at PSG.
I think it was essentially getting leaked at that point that he was going to, and then I think it was officially like early Sunday morning or something like that.
Okay, so PSG played Sunday. We played on Friday or Saturday, I believe. Real Madrid played Friday or Saturday, the last game.
Madrid played on Friday. On Saturday is when the thing happened, because he said apparently he was gonna like reveal what he was gonna do at 5 a.m. on Sunday, and he did not do that at all.
Okay. So Real Madrid played on Friday and PSG played on Saturday, correct? Okay, on Friday, I was watching the pregame before the final La Liga game for Real Madrid against who was it against?
Betis.
It was against Betis, and they were interviewing people outside the stadium, and they were like, "How do you feel about Mbappe coming to Madrid?" And everyone, and I mean everyone that they interviewed, they only showed like 4 or 5 clips, said, "If he comes, great. If he doesn't, okay." Because somehow Vinicius has lived up to something where it's like, it would be amazing if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid. Like, that'd be lethal. Like, that's the most lethal front line I've seen in a minute since like the MSN, since the Cristiano Benzema. But everyone around Madrid is just like, okay, he didn't come. Like, they're not missing him. It hurts because it is quite literally, like, you could say the best player, like top 3 in the world. But it just doesn't hurt. And did he disrespect the club? Yes, in a way he did. Is that gonna hurt his chances of moving to Real Madrid in the future? No, because Real Madrid's about winning. In 3 years, if Mbappe wants to come to Real Madrid, you're just gonna get him. He's gonna come. They're not going to like, oh, Mbappe can never come to Real Madrid again. It's not gonna happen. And to add on top of that, like Mbappe called Florentino Perez and said that he was sorry, but like he's choosing PSG. So I think he has one eye on the future. If you want to like look into that and dive into that, like why would he call the Real Madrid president after staying at PSG? Maybe he knows that in the future he's going to Real Madrid, but he did disrespect the club.
For his
Right.
for his legacy, how often has a player, like if he were to go to Real Madrid after at 26 or however old he's going to be, how often has a player transferred to a big club like that at that age and really had a successful like career with the club?
In a
'Cause there's
decent amount of times. 26 is usually when you're like heading
About
into your
to be
prime.
fine.
You're like your prime, like the real prime for players almost in every sport is usually like 29, 28, 27, 30, 31, 32. But like obviously like in soccer, we're used to like because we pay attention in soccer to like young talents and young talents get to play in soccer. Whereas like if you take baseball, for example, like this is the only sport I can think of that's like that, where like dudes won't hit the big time until they're like 24 or 25. Um, but in soccer and like basketball, you have like really young guys playing. So like, can he come at 26 and like be successful? Of course he can. He's still young at 26 years old. Like, dude, Marco Asensio was like 26 years old. Um, the problem is coming at 23 is quite different. Like
Yeah.
him coming now would have been perfect. There's no other word to describe it. It would have been perfect. Real Madrid need a right winger. There's no set right winger. You'll be playing against the Ballon d'Or favorite at the moment in Karim Benzema and someone that's headed up there to meet him and Haaland and Foden and all those guys that have been like established as stars in Vinicius Jr. And I think Cristiano moved to Real Madrid like around that age.
Yeah,
like
I
at
just looked it
28,
up. It's 24. He was 24.
24. He was 24.
And Benzema was 21 when they made the move.
Yeah, I know
Benzema-
Benzema was extremely young.
What
That
I
would
think
be-
is I don't know how like the club is gonna look by the time Mbappe. If he does, let's say it's the future, right? 2025 is coming. We go through the whole saga again where he's like, I want to go to Madrid, right? I don't know who Madrid are going to sign this summer because there's a bunch of rumors that they're going to try to find Nabry or they're going to grab somebody else from some other team and put in that right wing, or maybe even Rodrigo. Rodrigo might develop into something special later on. Obviously, I'm not that person that's going to be like Rodrigo's going to be better than Mbappe. It's too early to tell. It's unfair to tell, but I think it's possible that Rodrigo could be a great player for Real Madrid. So I think right now would have been perfect for Mbappe. He, like you said, you need a right wing. He's already an established right wing who's won a World Cup, who's won the league multiple times, who's been to the finals of the Champions League. He's hungry to win. He's already played with good players. It's this time for him to shine and become like the next young talent for the team until Benzema gets old and leaves. So like it would have been for him to come and like play alongside his French teammate. But if let's look at it this way. As a normal person, if I got that much money offered to me, I will be stupid not to take it. But Mbappe is already filthy rich, so it's kind of a dumb decision. Like everybody wants, like there's a ton of players who want to play in Real Madrid or Barcelona. Like there's a dogs barking, but like there's a reason why Lewandowski is willing to leave Bayern Munich, who are dominating their league, still have a bunch of young talent, and can still probably go for a Champions League run, to go play in Barcelona and take that risk with Barcelona because he knows that's like one of the best teams in the world. Like even though Barcelona didn't go far this year in the Champions League and struggled in the Europa League and got eliminated by Frankfurt, that's still one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like when people talk about the best clubs in the world, it's always Madrid and Barca, the David and Goliath, the two best rivals in the history of sports, in my opinion.
The thing is, this all hurts a little bit less for Real Madrid, given that you are playing in a Champions League final without Kylian Mbappe on your team. You guys you're playing in the biggest game that a club can play in without that guy. So missing out on him, yeah, it stinks, but like you're chilling, in all honesty. The other thing I wanna ask, and let's just be hypothetical, right? Kylian Mbappe plays with Benzema on the French national team. He has definitely seen the season Benzema's having, the Ballon d'Or season he's having. Do you think there's at all some type of like do you think he's at all intimidated to go there and play alongside him? He doesn't want to be, he wants to be the guy, doesn't want to be, second to Benzema and that type of thing. Like, do you think there's any of that going on?
Dude, if I'm the best, like, attacker, like, okay, Mbappe will play right wing for Real Madrid. Why would he not want to play with the best number 9, like a real number 9 in the world? Like, because Benzema's the best number. Nobody in the world is playing that position the way Karim Benzema is playing that position. Karim Benzema literally goes out to the wing more than any striker I've ever seen in my life. I didn't know no strikers did that. He literally drops behind Vinicius at left wing to distribute the ball. He comes into the midfield to distribute the ball all the time. Like I said, he's the second leading assister in La Liga. Why would you not want to come play at Real Madrid with someone who is literally like on some, if you want to score goals, like I'm gonna give you goals. Like there is no way around, like, because I feel like we're giving a lot of excuses. Oh, Mbappe didn't come because like who turns down that kind of money? Like Michael said, and I agree wholeheartedly, bro. You're getting paid a stupid amount of money a week. Like you don't care about money. Like Mbappe cannot come and tell me to my face, bro, I just wanted more money. Like there has to be a point where a human being earns so much money that they just don't even, like, you don't even care. Like you just know you have, like, you have it. He knows he has it. He is earning so much money. Money is not the reason. I just feel like, I don't know, he's comfortable at PSG, I guess. I can't fathom like a real explanation as to why he stayed. Is he intimidated of Benzema? Bro, I hope not, because that would be the silliest reason why not to come to Real Madrid. Because like Michael said, and I agree again, dude, there's a difference between that little PSG Eiffel Tower logo and there's a different, and the Real Madrid badge with a crown on it, bro. Like a lot of people were saying it, and I agree with them as well. Like Real Madrid went through in the Champions League on the strength of the badge, straight up. And when we were talking about like Rodrigo and other like uncertainties of what might happen with Real Madrid next season, I'll bring this up to you guys. Like, is he risking it? Because like last year, 2 years ago, let's say heading into this season, like if I didn't know that Vinicius was going to be this good, if you asked me, does Real Madrid need a left winger, I would have told you yes, bro. Like Vinicius is not the guy. Before this season, Vinicius was not the guy. He was horrible. He scored like 5 goals last season in total. Like he sucked. Is Mbappe risking it? Like, what if Rodrigo turns up and turns into a Vinicius? What if Real Madrid go out and get Mo Salah this summer? Oh, well, not this summer because Mo Salah already said he's staying one more year, which is what he has left in his contract. But what if they get him for free next summer? Dude, Tony Kroos is about to lose his job at Real Madrid. Real Madrid and Man City are the places to be right now. Like Real Madrid, literally, like, oh, we're not getting Mbappe. Oh, we're gonna go get Aurelien Tchouameni now, the Monaco guy, for 80 million. Okay, we got that because they were gonna pay Mbappe whatever amount of money. They have the money. Everybody wants to be at Real Madrid right now. For you to turn down Real Madrid, I don't know what's going through your head. Because there's
I
nothing.
mean, they're about
do
to
at
play
PSG.
World Cup together. Mbappe
yeah.
and Benzema.
Benzema literally posted the picture of like Tupac with his friend in the background that betrayed him as soon as the Mbappe news came out. Obviously, there's no animosity between them. Like I don't know. I don't think Benzema's that kind of guy. Like, you know, it's all left on the pitch, and you know they're gonna play it.
I haven't heard
Not anymore, at
Benzema's
least.
teammates.
Don't ask
I was
Balbuena.
gonna
Don't ask Balbuena how that went. But yeah, they're gonna play it over in Qatar, and they're literally gonna smash everyone. It's them and Brazil basically, but obviously it's soccer and it's a World Cup, so who knows what'll happen. But what I'm saying is they'll do good, and there is literally no reason why Mbappe should have stayed at PSG. There is none, zero. He is risking it because Rodrigo can turn out to be that guy. Because dude, the kid has like 4 goals in the 90th minute in the last like 4 Champions League games he's played. Like he can be that guy. And it could
He's
turn out
leveled
that
it for Real and twice, and like almost stoppage time twice.
It could be that Real Madrid end up not needing Mbappe at all, and he's risking it because his counterpart, like you know how Ronaldo has Messi, his counterpart is Erling Haaland. And like I said, there's 2 places to be at right now in world soccer, and that's Real Madrid and Man City. Where did Erling Haaland go? Man City. Guess who he's playing with? De Bruyne. Can we sit there and go like, is Haaland afraid to play with De Bruyne? No, bro. big players aren't afraid of competition. They don't run away from it. I feel the same
I don't
way
know.
about
That
him.
kind of seems like where we're going with this, though. It's like, oh, well, he's
But
not playing at
how-
Madrid because he does it. Like, if you want to be the best player, you're gonna go to like those clubs, and he's not doing that. So, like,
But Chris,
why?
how has this turned out for every other player that's done the same thing? It's never turned out well. Look at
I'm not
Neymar.
justifying it
No,
for
I
him.
know.
I'm not
I know.
saying it's a good
I'm just saying.
decision. I'm just like, why? Like, if like there's a difference. Like, some people are just about like the fame and money, and some people are about like legacy in the game. And I think to an extent, like going to PSG kind of tells us where that kind of is. And I think we saw it with Neymar, like
Yeah.
prime example number one.
Yeah.
No, I think
was-
Neymar left though because he just wanted to be his own guy, and he's like, I can go to a team that's gonna pay me ridiculous amount of money, and I can be my own. I can be the guy here.
But that's what I'm saying. There's people that are about like team success and like building their legacy that way, and then there's about guys that like want to be more than the badge. And I think, I mean, Rafa's talked about this on the pod before about PSG's badge doesn't mean the same thing as like other teams.
And how did that work out for Neymar is what I'm trying to say. Neymar was top 3 player in the world. It was Cristiano, it was Messi, and Cristiano interchangeably in the 1 and 2, and then it was Neymar. There was no question about it. No one was touching that man. Maybe Hazard the one season got up there like, oh yeah, I'm that guy. Other than that, Messi, Cristiano, Messi, Neymar. Neymar immediately dropped off. I'm not sure Neymar's top 5. No, I am sure Neymar's not top 5 in the world. I could probably name you 10 guys better than Neymar right now on the top of my head. I feel the same way about Mbappe staying at PSG, the same way I felt about Neymar leaving Barcelona, about Cristiano leaving Real Madrid, about Messi leaving Barcelona. Same way. It's just a ugly transfer. It's not gonna go well. Like, I can't sit here anymore and be like, PSG are gonna be so dangerous, because I said that when they got Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, and look what happened. They got knocked out. Every year they get knocked out. The only sign of success they had was that they made the Champions League final, and that was the worst, the fakest Champions League ever. It was the Corona Champions League where they had 1 game knockout in the quarterfinals and in the semifinals. Like,
bubble Champions League.
It's not real. Like, why you're staying at an unsuccessful club? So it must be what Chris is saying. You're greedy. Like, you're greedy, and that's an ugly thing to be when you're a young player, supposed to be the face of a nation. Because supposedly, like, the French president called them up, talking about, yo, stay, because you are France, you are Paris. Jesus Christ. I hope they win the Champions League, because like otherwise it's just a waste of 3 years. Like, is there a difference between Mbappe coming at 23 and 26? Yes. Legacy, numbers. You want to be the best player in the world? You would have come to Real Madrid. I just don't think
like it doesn't help that they're also in Ligue 1. Like, a good example, I saw somebody tweet saying like, oh, like no one's gonna really see Mbappe or any of these, like PSG basically perform until they go to the Champions League. And once they were out in the Champions League, like when Real Madrid beat them, no one talked about PSG anymore. It was like, oh, that's it. There you go. They're not that good. Okay, let's go watch the Champions League and like watch other leagues instead, because they already knew they were gonna win the Ligue 1. Like, it's not like City, where City went to a league that was already had established teams, and then it was like, oh, we're gonna be the next big guy here, and they're like, okay, sure, and then they did it. It's
Dude,
PSG
just say it.
league,
No one cares about Liga.
financially out of it, and they're like, oh, we're gonna be the big guy, and it's like, you are, because we're not. No one else here is wealthy. There's only, since PSG got bought out by the Qatari government, they've only lost twice the league, which I think is ridiculous. They lost in general, but they lost in 2016 and 17 against Monaco, which I think had Mbappe during that time, if I'm correct. And then they lost in 2020, 2021 against Lille. Those are 2 times they lost the league. And then every other time, it's just been them.
Just say it simple. They suck. You know what the problem is with it? It happens in the Bundesliga as well. That's why I think is the Serie A the 3rd most competitive, or is it the Bundesliga? Like, according to
I'd
the
say
UEFA
Serie A.
coefficients.
Let's say Serie A.
I'd rather say City A too.
I don't know what they technically have it as. Like, I know they like mathematically figure out what is the most competitive, whatever. But I mean, realistically, I'm going with Serie A right now. It's definitely.
Let me check it right now. Let's see where it's at.
Yeah, Serie A is, according to UEFA coefficients, the 3rd most competitive league.
I think should barely be there.
Yeah, France is fifth, and then Portugal is like literally on them on sixth place.
I
But
think Portugal should be there.
to what I was gonna
So
say,
here's the debate: is France even a top 5 league?
No,
Like, realistically,
it's not
No.
like
of all the
But-
European finals, let's see, we got England, Spain in Champions League, we got Germany, Scotland, and then we had Netherlands and Italy. You know
Dude,
which
you could probably-
country
you
is
could
not
probably-
represented?
you could probably do that for every single year, and it'll literally be just like that. Missing France, except for the
How
Champions
many-
League final.
It's a farmers
uh,
league.
Look, the big problem with the league, because like it would be fine if you just smash through your league and then you play Champions League and you do well, but they can't. It's not possible. The same thing happens to Bayern, with the exception of the year that they just literally had the best team in the world, and they were just playing good. Obviously, this was Corona year as well. The problem is that these teams play 28 games, 30 games the entire season against no one. So then they play a team that's actually good and they're stunned. They get beat up and they lose. Yeah, PSG lost in a dramatic like fashion against Real Madrid, and almost every year they get knocked out in some dramatic way, but you still lost like where you shouldn't be. Like if you grabbed me by the arm and told me 5 years ago that PSG will land Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi, and Sergio Ramos, and Hakimi, and all those, and just the list goes on. The entire team is stacked. They literally added Gianluigi Donnarumma, the best goalie in the world at the time, the Euro winner, the best goalie of the Euros, to their team. And they did nothing with him. Actually, he was blamed for their loss.
he gave Benzema the pass though.
Meanwhile, AC Milan did what? They won the league. It's just hilarious, dude. It's like so divine. Like it's divine justice at every corner.
Do
And
you
it's
want to
gonna
know what?
happen.
You want to know something funny? Do you know how many French teams have won the Champions League? One. Do you know what team it was?
Hey,
Marseille.
Leon.
It wasn't
I'm
Leon.
gonna guess Marseille.
It was
It was-
Marseille. In 1993, the second time it was close was Monaco losing the finals in 04 against Mourinho's team. So French teams are not like historically competitive in Europe.
So it goes back to what
That's-
I said. I literally said the
They're
best
the
player
league
in the
that makes
world
Years,
doesn't play in Ligue 1. It never
They're-
has been that way. It never will.
They're the
be.
league that makes these great young talents that you just spend a ridiculous amount of money for and you move it to either bigger teams. Like Hazard came from Lille, and then you have Mbappe that came from Monaco. And then Mbappe should have gone from PSG to either Madrid or like he apparently was linked to Liverpool too, which is crazy. But that's what he said himself.
Kamavinga came from Ligue 1. He played for
Benzema came from Ligue 1 as well, right?
yeah. Benzema's from Ligue 1.
Yeah.
Ferland Mendy's from Ligue 1.
Yeah.
All those guys are from Ligue 1. Tchouameni's about to leave Ligue 1. Like that's what you do. And for you to beat Mbappe, because Mbappe's Mbappe, bro. And just literally be like, 3 more years, like
It's strange to say like I wouldn't even say it was so much about money, because if it was and like or legacy or anything like that, because if it was about legacy, he wouldn't have taken such a huge offer from PSG. He would have just said, okay, I want to build something here, and taken whatever they initially offered him. Like now he's got like pretty much ownership of the team. Like I don't think it's so much about that. It's I can't even think of what the reasoning for him to take all that and stay would
Dude,
be
just
like.
imagine the ego. You already have Messi.
It is
Yeah.
ego. I think it
Imagine
is ego.
You have Neymar on your team, who boy. Now you add Mbappe. Who are you gonna get to manage those guys? The only person in my mind that I can think of is Zidane, and Zidane is not going to manage PSG. I swear, if he does, Chris, go ahead and make this a meme, post it on TikTok. He is not going to manage PSG. Like he is not going to. He literally stopped managing Real Madrid willingly. He's not gonna manage PSG, bro.
I heard that Mbappe. So like, mind you, these are all rumors. A lot of rumors came out with the whole Mbappe fiasco, but apparently, since they say that he can pick the new manager, he wants Zidane. That's who he wants to manage the team.
The thing is, he can want that all he wants, but I think Zidane's the type of person that it doesn't matter if you want him. Like it's whether he wants to play, he wants to coach you. Like I just don't think he like cares about the guys like that. Like I think he's just gonna do what he wants to do.
Dude, what can you offer Zidane? Like, you can win the Champions League. Yeah, I've already done that. Not only as a freaking player, bro. Like, I've already done it 3 times in a row.
Managing PSG would just be a step down. Like, why
What
would
else are you
he
gonna
do
offer
that?
him? Winning League One? Exactly. There's nothing there, bro. There's just nothing there for him.
Did Zidane play at Ligue 1? He played Ligue 1, right?
He must have. I mean, where did he get his start? French. He played in Juventus. Wow, what French team does Zidane play for?
At Bordeaux in
Bordeaux.
Liga.
See, players leave France to become great. But yeah, just to close out this entire Mbappe thing, because it's literally just coming back to him being 42.5 million per year, in addition to 180 million euros for staying in France.
Financial fair play.
And he has
Financial fair play.
100% of his image rights. Dude, at this point, there's like, if we haven't caught Man City and PSG, we're never gonna catch them. If you think Johnny Depp's attorney is good, the one that PSG and Man City have must be her boss, bro. So moving on to actual soccer players that play for big teams. Liverpool versus Real Madrid Champions League final. What do we have to say? Looking forward to the game. You start, Michael, since you got the jersey on.
Well, obviously I'm going for Real Madrid. Real Madrid haven't lost against Liverpool in the last 4 matches. Basically, in the modern age, they haven't lost against Liverpool. They beat them last year twice while they were injured. I will mention that. They beat them in the 2017 finals? While, Salah came out and they had
No excuses. We beat them straight up. I don't care.
I know, but we beat them. So now
Okay.
Liverpool, so like we came from beating Liverpool as the favorites to now being not the favorites to go against Liverpool. On paper, if you look at paper, obviously, and football isn't played on paper though. Liverpool is a stronger
on
team.
grass.
It's on grass. It's been on a pitch. Liverpool is a stronger team. You have Mo Salah, you have Mane, you have Diego Jota, you have Luis Diaz coming off the bench, you have Thiago, you have one of the best defenses in the world. That team is scary. But here's the thing: Real Madrid literally went through the hardest path to get to the final, so they don't really care who you are, who you have, because if it was on, like I said, if it was on paper, PSG would have beaten Real Madrid easily.
Do we think that hurts Real Madrid though, since it's not a 2-leg tie?
And no, it's a cup final. Most of the players in the team already know how to play in the cup final. Maybe the defenders are like kind of out of it, except Carvajal playing the cup final. Courtois playing the cup final. Benzema's playing the cup final. You have Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro playing the cup final. The only people that haven't are Vinicius, who played in the semifinal last year. You have at right wing, you have Valverde. Then you have Mendy and one of our center backs, which is Natal, because Alaba has won with Bayern plenty of times. So our team is experienced. That's not the worry. And even let's say if they don't play Alaba, Nacho is also playing a cup final. So like the experience is there, the want's there, and I feel like the team has a confidence to be like, we don't care who you are. We've taken Titans out before. Like it's not that.
I got Liverpool. I mean, I think with Real Madrid, like you said, like they've taken the hardest path to get to the final. But I think Liverpool is just a much better team right now. Now, anything could happen at this point. I mean, we've seen what Real Madrid can really do, especially when they start getting momentum. Like Real Madrid is scary that way. But I got Liverpool. Plus Luis Diaz for Colombia. So I got to represent my country. So that's the only, that's a big one.
You just said, I got Liverpool because they're a good team and Luis Diaz. That's all you got?
I mean, Barcelona is over here sitting at home. So, and I'm not going to go, I'm not supporting Real Madrid. whoever could have been in that final, I was gonna support them. But now more that Luis Diaz is also in there, and I mean, like Mikey said, like Liverpool on paper is ridiculous. Anything can happen, but I just think
Real Madrid on
and
paper is
Mo
ridiculous.
Salah's coming for revenge too. So
Listen.
Liverpool can come out at
Zero Ballon d'Or is not Liverpool team. No World Cup final appearances. Right?
Before Rafa tears everybody, Chris, do you have anything you want to say?
So I look at this matchup from two perspectives. One, like, yeah, Liverpool's good, but their path wasn't like that clean. Like, there was a moment there where they thought Villarreal was actually going to do something against them. There was a little bit like Benfica got a good side of them, but Real Madrid's gone through, I mean, just in the last three rounds, Chelsea, PSG, and City. And if you look at the Premier League table, City sits above Liverpool. Real Madrid beat the team that is considered better than Liverpool by those standards. But I would be concerned in it just being a single match, not like a two-leg thing. I've said this before. Real Madrid did a lot of coming back, but if they can get their momentum going in this early, and call it the first half, if they get the momentum going, I don't see Liverpool taking this one. And I think the experience on the Real Madrid side as well is going to play a major factor. So I'm going to go with Real Madrid for this one.
Well, listen, there's a lot of ways this game could go. There's a lot of like dynamics that we have to take into account. One of the biggest things is Liverpool going to be able to keep possession on Real Madrid, which is literally, in my eyes, the only way they'll win. If you don't have possession against Real Madrid, kiss it goodbye. Because if you give Real Madrid the time and space on the ball, exactly what happened to Man City, exactly what happened to Chelsea, exactly what happened to PSG will happen to you. All those games, Real Madrid had the ball in the 90th, 85th minute on, 80th minute on, they had the ball. Modric has the quality, he's shown it. Benzema has the quality, he's shown it over and over and over. So is Liverpool going to be able to keep the ball? In my opinion, yes. I think Liverpool is going to win the possession of the ball, and it'll then be up to Real Madrid to counterattack. That is like as clear as day to me. That is the game plan for Ancelotti. That is the game plan for Jurgen Klopp, and I think that's the way it's going to like happen. With that being said, that means that Trent Alexander-Arnold has to come up against Vinicius. That's like the biggest matchup. That's the one that everyone is talking about. Obviously, if Liverpool have the ball, what is Vinicius going to do? That's where it comes in. That's where that comes in. Liverpool needs to be able to hold possession, needs to keep Casemiro from recovering the ball, needs to keep the Real Madrid pressure off them, needs to be able to hold the ball, push Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold up to get those balls in the box, to get a delivery up to Mo Salah, so he can distribute up to those guys in the front. Probably going to be Sadio Mane. And I would figure Luis Diaz will start. I don't think Diogo Jota. I think Diogo Jota has fallen out of favor to start the Champions League final, but we've also seen that Luis Diaz is way better off as a sub. So we'll see what happens there. Thiago also picked up a little injury in their last Premier League match, but supposedly Jurgen Klopp said that he was like surprisingly good in terms of physical condition. So we'll see what happens there. I expect Thiago to start the game, probably get subbed out because there's no way you come back from like a hamstring injury that fast.
Same thing with Van Dijk has apparently been like struggling with injury, and so has Salah because they didn't play him. Like I think they didn't play him in one of the games in the last games of the league, which I feel like they should have.
Well, Salah picked up an injury in the FA Cup final. Got subbed off early, and I know they subbed off Van Dijk in that game as well. But that was just when they were going to extra time. I do think if Van Dijk is knocked up in any way, that'll just make Benzema's movement off the ball that more important. Because essentially, Van Dijk one-on-one against any number 9, dude's gonna take him. But if Benzema's moving off the ball and really making Van Dijk move, I think Benzema could have a goal and an assist in this game, to be completely honest.
The thing is, and Thierry Henry was talking about this with Jamie Carragher after Real Madrid played Chelsea, talking about Benzema's movement off the ball. It doesn't matter. Like, it seriously doesn't matter. Like Van Dijk is not gonna follow Benzema to the extent that Benzema is gonna drop off, and that's what makes him so good. Because then it becomes the overload of the midfield, and then you have your wingers pushing up, and dude, once Benzema or a Toni Kroos or Luka Modric releases a ball out to Vinicius or Fede Valverde, now you're backtracking. And Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson are not the best defenders in the world. Van Dijk is insane. 1v1, I agree with you. I don't think Benzema's taking him on. I think Vinicius maybe 2 out of 10 times gets past Van Dijk. And that's another
my tip is they're also a really good defender. I think how do you think Real Madrid's gonna line up in the final? Do you think they're gonna? Because I heard a lot of discussions where people were saying that they should start Camavinga over Casemiro over someone in the midfield like Kroos.
Oh, you're out of your mind. Absolutely not. I think, and like this has been an opinion that I apparently I'm the only one that thinks so. I think Toni Kroos is really losing a spot at Real Madrid because his position there's just no need for it at Real Madrid, and somewhat in the modern game, like a deep lying midfielder that can really play that long ball. Kind of like every midfielder could play a ball over the top now, and like switches are just like something that midfielders are expected to do. The box to box midfielder that can beat someone on the dribble is what's really popping now, and that's why Frankie de Jong is so good, and that's why, in my opinion, Pedri is going to be the best midfielder by far. Like in the next decade, he's just going to dominate because there's just no one moving like that kid right now. If he gets better at defense, watch out. No, start Modric, Kroos, Casemiro. Sub off Toni Kroos, 60th minute for Camavinga. That's what you've done all season, and you've beaten everybody. Do it again. In my opinion, should Camavinga start? Kind of, but there's no way you go against experience. There's just no way you go against like how familiar those three are. And you don't want to throw Camavinga, who's like 18, into a Champions League final after he played in Ligue 1 last season. You don't want to do that.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, from a managerial standpoint, sitting there in pregame saying like, okay, like you're coming on in the 60th minute. Just be ready for that. It's not going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to do it based on how Cruz is playing. Like, I mean, Chelsea did a lot last year with Pulisic. Like they would just sub him on in the 60th minute, almost on the dot, and give him 30 minutes to play, and just split that with Werner. Like I think some guys are just built for that, and especially for Luis Diaz, that's an absolute like motor up top. Like if you give him just 30 minutes to just be that guy, like dude has the energy to just absolutely terrorize a defense. Yeah, and I think that's the same with some of the subs that Real Madrid makes.
Yeah, I think Toni Kroos kind of just knows that that's going to happen, and I would bet money on it that that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't see it going otherwise. Maybe the scoreboard might lead to other things. Who knows? But I seriously don't like. If we're winning, I think Camavinga's coming on. If we're losing, I think Camavinga's coming on. Luis Diaz, I agree with you, and that's something we need to look out for. That's why I think he should not start. I don't think he should start. I think they should put Diego Jota, and if that means that your offense is poop for 60 minutes, kind of cool. Like the only way we score if it's Mo Salah does something crazy or Trent Alexander-Arnold does something crazy, fine. I'm willing to take that risk in the Champions League final, and then bring on Luis Diaz to run a Danny Carvajal for the next 30 minutes. Yes. The problem with starting Luis Diaz is that Luis Diaz is running at like 100% pace while the team is running at 60%. And sometimes you see it because he'll get the ball, put his head down while everyone is like chilling, and he'll just try to take on 3 defenders and lose the ball. That's something you cannot do. Like I said earlier against Real Madrid, you cannot lose possession of the ball. Liverpool, you come out of this game with 60% possession to win this game, I think. You come out with 50, 55, God forbid 45. You let Real Madrid have the ball most of the time, which I don't think will happen. But if you let them have the ball most of the time, Karim Benzema is going to punish you. Like, he's the only player I've seen as automatic as Benzema this season is Cristiano. That season with the noodle hair, where it was like, dude, I don't care what happens. We're going to, like, Cristiano's going to score. Cristiano scored every single game in the Champions League up to like the quarterfinal or the semifinal. It was ridiculous. So that's something to look out for. But like going back to where this all started, no, I think they should start their traditional legacy midfield. Left back Ferland Mendy to keep up with Mo Salah. Literally needs to be fit and not injured because there's no one. If Ferland Mendy doesn't play, Real Madrid's losing. I think when it comes to center backs, I'm like super torn because I know it's gonna be Alaba and Militao, But dude, like Nacho has shown that he's more reliable than Alba. But I know that's gonna be Alba Militao. Obviously, Carvajal right back is non-negotiable. Courtois and goal is obvious. Vinicius, Benzema. Valverde. You have to go Valverde, dude. Because like the same thing that we've been talking about, Luis Diaz and Camavinga and all these super subs. Rodrigo is a super sub, bro. When he plays in the normal game, apparently or like evidently, he does nothing. Then when he comes on as a sub, he scores. Ride that wave, dude. Next year, if you want to push for a starter, cool. For this game, ride the wave that has literally given you a chance to like, oh, Mbappe's not coming. We got Rodrigo. Want to be that guy? Wait till next season. Ride the wave, bro.
This and Rodrigo, and that's scary. Terrifying to see.
And experience is huge too. Like you said, like you don't want to play Camavinga like an 18-year-old kid in a Champions League final. When it comes to cup finals, like experience is huge. So,
and we'll see what midfield Liverpool puts up. Because, dude, if they don't come out with a Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, both of them need to play. I know Fabinho's gonna play for sure, but somehow Jordan Henderson is like, oh, maybe not. Dude, Jurgen Klopp comes out there with like Naby Keita and Thiago.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this.
You might get classed by Modric.
This is what's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna be 1-1, 90th minute. Madrid and Liverpool are subbing in people. Madrid subbing in Rodrigo. Ancelotti has that face. Liverpool is subbing in Origi, and Klopp is like, I got this.
and there's 6 minutes of stoppage time.
6 minutes just to like hammer in the fear of what's gonna happen. But what I think is gonna happen is, I agree with Rafa. I think Liverpool have like this. This is a weird thing I'm gonna say. So I think the way that Liverpool and Madrid have played is very similar to me. How like when Madrid get high or Liverpool get high, they're gonna score 2 goals like that. They can score like right off the bat. They have so much energy that just like they're countering you. They have confidence. They're making these key passes. They're destroying you. It's insane to watch. And Liverpool is kind of the same thing. Like you saw it against Villarreal. They were down 2-0. They're probably like freaking out in the locker room. And then Klopp was like, dude, just put in Diaz. Watch what's gonna happen. They scored 3 goals. They took the lead. It was insane to watch.
They were playing Villarreal.
I know, but it usually happens that Liverpool will be playing kind of nonchalant, not really getting the opportunities, not really getting chances, and they get 1 goal and their confidence is back and they like want to score another one. And Real Madrid always. Huh?
What's your prediction?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what's gonna happen. Like,
hey, bro, I need to put something on the thing, bro. Let's go.
I'm gonna say
something on the graphic. Let's move it.
I think this is gonna go to penalties, and I'm being honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it could.
That's so not a prediction, bro. What's the full-time score? What's the penalty score?
Penalty score is gonna be.
What's the full-time score? That goes first.
2-2.
2-2 and then 5-4 on penalties. All right, buddy.
Wait, but for who? Wait, for Liverpool or for Madrid?
Madrid.
Madrid.
Okay. So I think if Liverpool wants to win this, they have to win it in like regular time. They can't go to extra time.
Yeah.
If they go to extra time, Madrid throughout this Champions League has shown that they're going to they could win by 2-3 goals just in extra time. So I think if Liverpool wants to win, if Liverpool has a chance of winning, they have to do it in the 90 minutes. However, I think this goes into extra time 2-2, and I think Real Madrid ends up scoring a goal in extra time, winning 3-2. I just want a good final. Give me some drama.
I was gonna say Liverpool win 3-2 in 90.
Ooh.
I want goals. I'm trying to speak it into existence.
Yeah,
I just want goals.
Exactly.
Please give me some like crazy fucking game. These teams can like score. Just give me a score. I don't want one more 1-0, 1-1 defense. I don't care about defense. I want no defense.
Listen, man. Liverpool's gonna score early. It's gonna be 1-0. Real Madrid's gonna score.
Wait. Who's scoring? Who is scoring early? Like, name the players. Just give us everything.
Dude, I got you.
What part of the field? Where is the ball?
I got you. Real Madrid's gonna be counterattacking, then they're gonna lose the ball in the midfield. It's gonna be Fabinho's gonna win the ball. It's gonna play it out to Mo Salah. Mo Salah is gonna play a 1-2 with Sadio Mane. Mo Salah is gonna score. It's gonna be 1-0. The revenge match. Even though it's
We'd be
not revenge if you're not playing against Cristiano Ronaldo or Sergio Ramos or any of the players. But go ahead and tweet that's revenge when you're playing a weaker team. Cool beans. Mo Salah's gonna score 1-0 nice and early. Real Madrid are gonna be like on their back legs until the 90th minute after they've made their subs for Camavinga and Rodrigo. Then boom, cross, Benzema header, 1-1. Extra time, 0-0 in extra time. Penalties, 5-4 Real Madrid. Courtois is gonna say
Who is missing the penalty?
Mane.
Trent.
Do you think Trent's gonna take a penalty?
Yes.
Has he been taking the penalties for the? I don't think he's like been.
He is a penalty taker.
Yeah, I think he took a penalty in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Courtois is gonna save Trent's penalty.
I feel like it'll be Mane.
Which side of the goalie? Left or right side of the goalie?
Trent's gonna shoot to the right side of the goal, and Courtois is gonna save it.
All right.
Simple.
I'll have this all marked down.
It's gonna be man of the match, Luka Modric.
And then he retires from Real Madrid and goes somewhere else in the summer.
Nah, Modric got one.
Inter Miami.
Another year.
Inter Miami.
Is the one that needs to. Needs to get a little better.
I think that would be I just want a good final. I know these teams could put on a show.
It's gonna be a good final. Even if it's 0-0, it's gonna be a good final. Your team is playing the final, bro. 0-0 is gonna be intense for you.
I definitely think it's going to be dramatic.
Actually, a bad final will be like one team just runs away with it. That's a bad.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, this has basically been our episode. We talked about Conference League. Then we made a huge jump to talk about. Well, no, you know what? We talked about Conference League. Then we made a huge nosedive and talked about Mbappe. Then we took a huge jump and talked about the Champions League final and actual players that don't just care about money and actually play good and make Champions League finals. And yeah, we've made our predictions. And I'm Rafael Dos Santos in the same order that we greeted you.
I am Michael Figueroa.
I'm Chris Will.
George Socarras. I remembered my last name.
Let's go.
I was like, George.
This has been Off the Book. We'll catch you next time.